We already saw that he is full of tricks. He's full of abilities and things that he hasn't gone out of his way to just be like, hey, guys, this is everything that I can do. No character does that anyway. I think that after seeing Goku and Vegeta fight and seeing how they're very selfless and they are here to do what they got to do and then dip, but that in the process, they're saving everybody else around them. Neba has taken the time through all these experiences to learn that these are some really good people. Mm-hmm. And so in the face of potential death, I think at this point in time, he is going to have to drop some more lore. And he's going to have to be like, hey, yo, I knew your ancestors. Because the Tamagamis, I was able to create them and the Dragon Balls, and like I was able to even make them stronger off rip. Well, it turns out I can also help you guys become stronger as well to get us through this.
Oh, that's that good
Yo. It's your boys. Oh. Brother Ooch. It's me. And we are the Full Power Podcast. Let's go. We're back. Yes. We're back again once again. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the podcast back on the scene. It is your boys back again once again to talk to y'all about episode 16 of Dragon Ball Daima. So, full disclosure, of course, we just came directly out of watching it. And on this episode, you will be hearing our full in-depth thoughts and discussion in concerns to it. So if you missed out on the reaction by the time this is out, you're definitely going to want to go back and check out that reaction. A link to the main channel where I do my reactions will be in the description per usual. But before we get started, Brother Uch, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm all right. Just chilling.
Just chilling?
Yeah, just chilling.
Okay, just chilling. All right.
Just chilling.
Just chilling. All right, so fair enough. Now, I guess we'll just get right into it. These episodes have solely been about Dragon Ball Daima. We have been watching other anime and all that kind of stuff. We've been talking a little bit about them on the Daima Post Show, so if you've been missing out on the Daima Post Show, you're definitely going to want to tune in to the live streams that we've been doing every Sunday night to talk to you guys in more depth about your thoughts that time around when it comes to the latest and greatest in Dragon Ball Daima news. But pretty soon, Daima's going to be wrapping up. So, and that's kind of why we've been a little antsy in regards to things moving along and happening with this show in particular. So, and of course, as always, if you're trying to support the podcast in other ways, you can definitely do so by becoming a thriving result over on the Patreon. That is patreon.com/Full Power Podcast. There are some behind the scenes, there are some extra episodes and just overall bonus content. But more importantly, that you guys are supporting us in doing this. And also, you're going to hear your names rapped at the end of these if you are a tier 3 or higher, okay? So definitely check that out. But yeah, so episode 16. Episode 16, man. This was an episode where, I'm not going to lie, I was telling you, and I was telling everyone that was watching us on the reaction, that this episode needs to hit. It needed to. Okay? Now, the saving grace, which we'll get to, is that preview.
Yeah,
but we're here to talk about 16 first, okay? So, before I break it down and go like moment by moment, what was going on through your mind in this episode?
Nothing. There was really nothing that grabbed my attention. Like, you know, it's nothing I guess I didn't really it's nothing I didn't expect, you know? So, like, I already had a feeling from the last episode that Gomu was eventually going to get the eye. Yeah. I didn't see Degasu getting it, so, you know, it doesn't fit. And, yeah, I mean, from 15 to 16, just from watching 15, we got the preview of 16 with, Degasu holding the gun at Dende and shit like that. And we all knew he wasn't going to shoot mans.
No.
At the end of the day, he was going to get saved. Dende's not dying and shit. So it was just like, and we aren't surprised that Tamagami 1 was already defeated. We already knew what was going to go down. You know what I mean? So like, it was just a matter of time where, they met up with Arensu, right? Is that her name?
Yeah. That's the doctor name.
Yeah, Arensu.
Yeah.
And the two boos.
Yeah, Kundu.
So, like, we didn't get any action, obviously, but
yeah, honestly, we didn't get shit. We didn't
really
get a single real fight.
Yeah, so like 17 is quite literally the makeup of the past like 4 fucking episodes.
Yeah.
And that like 4 episodes, if you think about it, that's a whole month of dryness.
Yeah.
So that like
That's
been
a great
dry.
point.
It's been super dry. So like this February, all of February, because that's the last of it, week to week. So February should be a lit month in regards to this series as a whole.
That's a good point, actually. Considering that, obviously, like once this is out, I think we're already going to be in February. So that goes without saying. Now, yeah, you touched on a lot of good points. That's a great start to even warm this conversation up.
It's pretty much the episode.
That's that's the episode.
Really nothing else.
So like just to do its due diligence and to give you guys some content to talk about here. So going from memory, right? I don't have any notes in front of me. I don't have anything special. I don't have the episode in front of me. But this is a very easy episode to break down as far as like from memory goes. Like that's why I'm making a point of I'm telling you guys, like, I don't have any notes for this episode because it is not necessary to have notes for such an episode because literally off the top, they straight up are just like, what do we do now? Like that is how the episode starts. So it's like everyone's standing around in a straight line, like, what do we do now? So it's like, okay, do we go deal with the getting the last Dragon Ball or do we save Dende? Like, what do we do? So of course, and I always forget his name when I'm on the spot, but like Supreme Kai, I will always know him as Supreme Kai, but Nahare, it comes back to me, right?
Supreme Kai.
Yeah. So Supreme Kai comes through, and he's like, "Nah, son, we need to go get Dende." All right, makes sense. So they decide to go towards Dende, which means that they're gonna go towards Goma's like main castle entrance. Now, of course, I'm sure some folks like yourself will agree, like in pure filler, delaying, dragging fashion, they had the Gendamari Force do their entire pose again. Now I will hear, look, I will put out there as a fan of that type of shit. It's no secret. I will reiterate this every week so that any new listeners will know this about me. I am a huge fan of Power Rangers and the Japanese versions, aka Kamen Rider, Tokusatsu in general, Super Sentai, all that shit I like. So naturally, I'm a Ginyu Force head. I am a Saiyaman head.
See, the only difference the Ginyu Force actually had was power. They were way stronger and more intimidating
from what we could tell
from back then, at least, because of the all like they were fucking us up. They were actually fucking us up. They until Goku showed up, they was the real deal before Frieza.
That's true.
These niggas aren't. They ain't nothing. Maybe if the series was like longer, they would like have them be stronger or something like that. And so we could waste more time and shit.
I see your point.
But since this shit's apparently only 20 episodes, they ain't got time for them.
No.
Unless they wanted to give us action or something like that and make it worthwhile to watch.
Yeah.
But like I rather not. I rather just, I'm glad we're at 17 at this point.
Yeah, like
from the preview at least.
that is a good point.
It
Like
gave some life.
Okay, another reminder is that Dragon Ball Daima is the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball as a whole. So like there's going to be a lot of different little points of reference to reference, it's like callbacks. And having a tokusatsu based Power Ranger team is another Toriyama-ism, I guess you can consider. That's going to get involved in the show. And I mean, they have a very small role. They are obviously comedy based, comedy driven. And off the jump, you as a viewer should already know that they're not supposed to be taken seriously, right? So, of course, they do the entire pose. They're doing, the shit. And Vegeta, so not even before that, Goku and Piccolo are just like, Vegeta?
Yeah, they're on the side.
And they literally just fly, like they flew off or they gave him his space. And Vegeta the entire time cross-arm, straight face, per usual, approaches them by walking. One tries to attack him, doesn't even hit him. The other guy comes in with a huge-ass gun, shoots the gun. Vegeta dodges it, doesn't even deflect it. The thing comes back around. Vegeta, like almost, he didn't do instant transmission, but like it's so fast that it's almost as if he was. He goes up to the dude's face, gets out the way again. The guy blasts himself with his own fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so then at that point, the Gundam Marine Force is like, okay, maybe they are the real deal. They did defeat Majin Buu and the Tamagamis after all, so maybe we should take them seriously. And it literally, I kid you not, it wasn't very long after that where they straight up just got like reprimanded. Like you saw them all like tied up in a corner, and they just were allowed to just proceed into the castle. And then on top of that, as a little prize, Goku got dude's bag of chips.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like
that shit was a joke.
Exactly. And that's the
was
point.
like after halftime.
Yo, no, and that's the crazy part. That whole moment happened. They go in, and then like shortly thereafter it was like halftime. And I looked at you, I was like, there's no way that's halftime already. Like that, and that's the thing. Like that entire segment, it felt so dragged. And that's how you know, because like they were able to do their entire intro pose. Now, naturally, if if their intro was cut off, say Vegeta was impatient, he didn't want to watch that entire shit go down, he would have just charged in, destroyed them all, they would have been done with, and they moved in.
He would have done one whole key blast when they were all posed up.
Yeah,
and just ended it and continued.
Yeah, he punched a guy, he key blasted another, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was the entire fight.
Then they black screened it, and then it was like a fucking like a video game scene.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Where you finish them off, and then it's like black screen.
Yeah,
and then
it opens back up to the next scene.
Yeah, it opens back up to the next scene where tied up or whatever the case may be, and then they move on into the next fucking mission. Like, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, pretty much. So. Yeah, and then after that,
Pegasus was fucking going through the castle. That took a couple scenes.
Yeah.
A couple fucking minutes.
Yeah, so he goes through the castle with Dende.
Yeah.
So he gets Dende, and that was an interesting scene because like they wanted us to see how badly, I guess, like how bad he was with babies at least, because he like it looked like he was about to drop Dende. Like he was like trying to pick him up and he like couldn't like get a steady like, grab. And here's another funny part is that of course through all of that, Dende woke up, was crying, and then afterwards when Goku and Vegeta and them caught up with Degasu before he was about to like fly off or whatever, Dende was totally sound asleep during all the fighting, which I was just like, oh, okay, like that makes no sense. Yeah. But it is what it is, right? So that happens. And then also I should also note that Pansy, she wasn't really supposed to go along with Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo. It was just supposed to be those three or them three. And not them three, but Gloria went with them too.
Gloria snuck in,
yeah. So Gloria was in there too, and then Pansy went in. And I was just like, I'm like, oh, someone's gonna have to go. Something's gonna go wrong with her. They're gonna have to save her, and then that's gonna cause more delay, more drama. But thankfully that didn't happen. And then then that goes into, there's a part where Goma is then given the information that that they have the eye. He's like, oh, bring it to me, bring it to me, bring it to me. And then there's time spent, and I kid you not, there's time spent on a plunger scene. And I'm just like, boy, God bless Toriyama. And may his soul rest in peace. I hope he is sleeping well. Because, man, I know that this show gets a lot of flack as it is. But I know that if it was any other show, people would have been fucking done with this shit. Dragon Ball gets a lot of flack, but it also gets a lot of forgiveness. And maybe
we know how great it can be.
And that's
But-
there it is right there.
But yeah, not a lot of animes get that type of treatment though.
Absolutely
like
not.
that, because there's a lot of animes that can be great, but like Dragon Ball is just one of those animes where you can just we know how much story there is left. So it's just like we're just waiting, or we have to,
Yeah.
in order to get the greatness that we want to see. So within that greatness, sometimes these motherfuckers just give us bullshit, So that's pretty much what it is. Because you can't compare Dragon Ball to animes, or I mean a lot of them, because they're not gonna continue as long as Dragon Ball. If you think of it from a perspective like that, so the animes that, I'll say Solo Leveling, right?
Oh,
So that's
Solo
it's a
Leveling.
great thing to bring up. But Solo Leveling is only gonna last for so long, so it has a very short term type of greatness. They don't got time to fuck up.
Well, that's true, right?
That's what I'm saying. There's a different type of tier when it comes down to shit like that. So Dragon Ball, they can have their fucking mishaps because they just know how great they are.
That's why they are handled the way that they are.
But shorter animes like that are really good, they don't got time to give us whack ass episodes. And if they do, then they're gonna see that shit in the reviews, 100%. The ratings. Yeah.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. I mean, that's how it works. That is how it works, and that's why I'm saying Dragon Ball is lucky that it can get away with what it is. But then again, it's Dragon Ball is the foundation to a lot of things that we love and enjoy to this day.
Yeah. No.
So without Dragon Ball, it's none of the other things that we love may have happened in the way that it did. It was it's monumental, but it comes at the point now where unfortunately, when you have moments like episode 17 or 16, or when things are slow, I think Dragon Ball is one of the last anime of its kind where even with 20 episodes, there's going to be cooldown in times of we're chilling and we're kind of letting things really simmer and the plot's not really moving all that fast. But the reality is Dragon Ball comes from an age where things like this happened and it was completely normal. And, I'm sure fans may have had some sort of a tolerance that may look different from what it is now, but even so, people have a voice, and if an episode sucks, you'll know. But now everyone's privileged to have certain banger shows that all they can afford to do is heat. There is no slowdown, and if there is, it's very slight, because you can't slow down too much, because if you do, you risk just losing your audience, which is crazy, and that's unfortunate. That's how it is. I wish it wasn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, that just kind of goes to show what the lay of the land is in 2025 and on right now. So anyway, the plunger scene, right? He takes the freaking belt with the eye that what's his face? Hybis had this entire time, and he takes a plunger to it, and he's trying to freaking suck it out of the belt buckle thing. and he's like waving it around and like he's trying everything until he uses that plunger, which is funny because for a second I thought that I saw the eye getting dizzy, which is funny, and I thought the eye was just gonna fall out by getting dizzy. I did not think it was gonna take a plunger to freaking take this thing out, so I thought that was very interesting, and very Toriyama like, which I've said several times. So he eventually gets it out, and then he gets this one chick that was the one who gave him the belt. As a reward, he was telling her, "Oh, take whatever you want," and she was about to leave with a bag full of like jewelry and all this shit. Before she left, he goes, "Put the eye on me." So apparently, it's weird. You need someone to like put it on you, right? And the way that they put it on you, it's almost like one of those like whack-a-mole games where it's like the thing kept trying to come out, but like she kept trying to hit it in there, and so then finally it gets in. And Goma turns into this Jiren size, maybe even bigger, looking freaking dude, which is kind of crazy. Now, I also want to point out that Degasu, it was Glorio that actually said that to not sleep on Goma, which is interesting because this entire show, we've all been made to believe like, yeah, no, Goma's also a joke. It's like, look at him. He's like, what's he gonna do? It's like he might have some, some good magic, but he's basically like another bobbity bibbity character, So it's interesting that Glorio said that. Maybe he was saying that to him as if it was like in comparison to what I just said about bobbity and bibbity. But I mean, who knows if he has any kind of fighting prowess? I mean, I guess we're gonna see now. But now take all of that, hyped up talk that Glorio was saying to Goku, Vegeta, and the rest of them about how like, yeah, no, don't take him lightly. Now, on top of that, add now that he has a third eye. So now he's going to be this super powerful being. So maybe he truly is going to be this final boss type of threat. However, I kind of see it playing out in a couple different ways because now that he has it, who knows if he's going to be the one that they're going to be fighting in episode 17 now.
I think we'll see Goma make an appearance either towards the end of 17 going into 18. Something like, because from the preview 17 Goku was fighting like Do or some shit or Ku.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of the gang was fighting too, like Piccolo, little special beam, Teaser, Vegeta on the side. They're all fighting.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't really see Goma like in that preview really, but the stage was changing. It was like some dark fire type of shit. So that's probably him.
Yeah, probably.
Like, making the demon world like a different type of like atmosphere or some shit like that.
Yeah.
With his presence. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from Arinsu. I don't really know what to expect from other dude, the other one with the Dragon Ball, I forget his name, Glorio. Yeah, cause I don't know. I feel like they're just gonna be fighting, the rest of the time.
Okay.
The rest of the season.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when the Dragon Balls will be used or gathered, but yeah, like, cause the Dragon Balls can be used while the fight is going on.
That's true.
So it's just about like, I guess who's gonna make the wish? Like, is Glorio gonna be the good guy? Because I feel like Glorio was kind of getting a little nervous when he saw Rinsu towards the end. He was sweating and like looking at her and shit because they had the last Dragon Ball. So I feel like Glorio might be on our side, like on the low.
Okay, so you think that Glorio might actually have like a double turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like in the beginning, of course, he was working with Rinsu, but now, like, because he didn't know that Arinsu was making Kid Boo's. Like, he doesn't know her entire plan. So, and I don't think he wants to be her underling or whatever the fuck.
I guess so. I guess we're going to have to see. So, I mean, like, we don't know if he didn't know that part. Like, we don't know if Glorio knew about her plan with making Do and Ku.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least Ku. Because Do came second.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a retry.
Yeah, it was a second attempt. Yeah, so obviously, so that was all of basically what happened in 16, essentially. Like those were all the key points. It was Vegeta taking out the Genma Force with no effort. It was Goma obtaining the third eye, and then it was
saving Dende.
Saving Dende, which they did in succession. It didn't really take them much, thankfully. They didn't make it a whole thing out of that. So yeah, but now that they have Dende, now the next thing is to try to get the Dragon Balls so that they can wish for them to be back into their adult bodies, and then they can just go home. That's what they think. But now they're gonna have this whole new slew of problems. Now that they realize that they also, when they approached Tamagami 1, they were like, yeah, the Dragon Ball went to the victor already. They're like, say what?
Mm-hmm.
So now they're gonna have to, in episode 17 now. So this is kind of like the episode 17 preview discussion, thoughts about what's to happen with that. 17, no mistake in Android 17. So episode 17 is going to be this grandiose battle, which, oh my God, it took them 4 episodes to finally get to some actual true action that we can all be excited to look forward to. Truly excited. Okay, like I naturally am happy to even have a new Dragon Ball series, an animated Dragon Ball series, okay? Now, it's different when it's like the last several episodes have just been very nothing happening, not much excitement episodes. This episode next week for 17 is going to be fantastic. And I can almost guarantee you that, because I think this is the first preview that we've seen Goku just in Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. Goku Super Saiyan, Piccolo in action finally. Because he's been on Super Standby.
Yeah.
And Vegeta, he's probably going to go Super Saiyan now as well. Into the fight. So
yeah.
I mean, all we could do is kind of see. I don't know if I want to make too many predictions just by seeing the preview.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I would like to see the episode and then base predictions. I mean, we already kind of said, like,
we said
17 is pretty much going to be the super build up into 18.
Yeah.
Because there's not much time left.
Exactly.
If you think about it.
Right.
So, like, between 18 and 19,
that's realistically like the hot shit right there.
That is all the juice.
All of it.
So it's either gonna be when we get a certain transformation or a fusion.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 probabilities at this point. That's all the time there is.
Right.
So, like, when you boil it down like that, then that's what there is to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah. So I think out of episode 17 from that preview, which was glorious, and it was longer. It was long. Yeah, it was a slightly longer preview from what we usually get, which I appreciate, and it kind of is telling, because normally they don't. Normally it's just like a quick 5 seconds, barely, and this time it felt like 8, give or take, or 10. Maybe it was like double the time. So. Yeah, like out of that, it's like a lot of shots of them, a lot of action sequences of them flying around and things are moving. And it looks like it is going to be a battle between Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and then Majin Buu and Majin Buu. I don't know if Glorio's going to be involved with fighting against them alongside the Dooku's, or if, like you said, we're going to see a double turn and he's actually going to be fighting with the heroes. I guess, that would actually be cool to see, because his character, I think, is supposed to be based on I can't remember the top of his name, but he's a Star Wars character that he kind of was like someone that kind of did his own thing, and you didn't really know if he was a villain or not early on, but then like he becomes like a hero.
Okay.
So he might, after all this adventure, he might actually just be like, Arinsu, I know I was supposed to turn on them for you in this whole plan, but these guys are way stronger than how you like anticipated. And who knows? Like, I don't know if Arinsu's that type of character to actually get her hands dirty.
Yeah, I don't really think so. 'Cause I honestly don't think she's that strong, but she's more of like a dictator.
Yeah, she's like she calls the shots. Like she's the kind of character that, kind of like makes the plan, puts things in motion, and then just watches. But we could be surprised, and it turns out that she can throw hands a little bit. I mean,
Yeah,
it'd be cool to see. But Yeah, other than that, it looks like it's gonna be a pretty awesome fight. Now, to set up for what's to come, I really think that in this episode, we're obviously gonna get some really good fights and some good sequences. But in order to keep this interesting, they have to lose. And in order for when I mean they, I'm talking about Goku and them. They have to lose. Ku and Do, they have to get that upper hand somehow, even though they're outnumbered. But again, they're supposed to be super strong. And who knows? Maybe during this fight, they figure out how to become one. Whether it's through fusion, whether it's through the bug fusion, or if it's through them absorbing each other, right? And they become Majin Dooku. That would be crazy. That'd be really cool. And then that puts them at more odds because that will then have to force them to then tap in. Now, here's another thing that I want to propose because, again, I'm really pushing the Super Saiyan 4 narrative. I really am pushing for that shit, okay? Now, we already saw Neba. We already saw that he is full of tricks. He's full of abilities and things that he hasn't, he hasn't gone out of his way to just be like, hey, guys, this is everything that I can do. No character does that anyway. And so we know that he is full of surprises. Now, I think that after seeing Goku and Vegeta fight and seeing how they're very selfless and they are here to do what they got to do and then dip, but that in the process, they're saving everybody else around them. Neba has taken the time through all these experiences to learn that these are some really good people. Mm-hmm. And so in the face of potential death, I think at this point in time, he is going to have to drop some more lore. And he's going to have to be like, hey, yo, I knew your ancestors. Right? On some, I knew your ancestors type shit. And then he says, just like how he fills in the blanks when it's just like, oh, we've lived with barriers this entire time. And he's like, yeah, I put them there. Oh, like, and then he tells them stories like, yeah, like, I made the Tamagamis to watch the Dragon Balls because, like, I didn't want, people using them in wrongful ways or whatever, or overusing them, and kind of like, the way that you guys like defeated them in pure hand-to-hand combat. It wasn't all pure hand-to-hand because obviously the Tamagamis had weapons, but beside the point, pure fighting, right? The art of fighting. The fact that happened and they did it peacefully and and the rules were abided by, no one actually got hurt after that. Mm-hmm. Then that was the purpose, and the purpose was fulfilled. Everything was all good to go, checked out. Now he knows that these guys are good. He knows their ancestors. He knows the history, and he drops a lore. It's like, yep, because the Tamagamis, I was able to create them and the Dragon Balls, and like I was able to even make them stronger off rip. Well, it turns out I can also help you guys become stronger as well to get us through this. And it was something along those lines, man. It seems like it might happen. It should happen.
I mean, he was a little shocked at seeing Tamagami 1 lose. Like, he was a little like,
that is true.
They framed him and he looked like a little shocked. So,
yes.
That somebody else got it,
Yes.
within the first round. So
right.
So I mean, as the fight goes on, in episode 17, for example, I don't think he's gonna like try to step in until Goma or some shit. Like, cause I don't think that Ku and Do are gonna be. I don't think they're gonna like. They're gonna be a challenge, but they're not gonna be like that type of challenge where, they upgrade to Super Saiyan 4 and have to fuse. Unless they fuse or some shit or absorb each other. I don't see that kind of happening, or them being the ones to push them to their limits. I would probably at this point say Goma would do that with this third eye shit because we don't really know much about it besides it being super powerful.
Okay.
So I feel like if they beat Kuindu first, whether it's episode 17 or beginning of 18 or whatever the case may be, they do that, and then once they fight Goma and they realize how fucking strong he is apparently, then it's like, all right, they need something in order to beat him. So whether that's a fusion or him like doing his little Namek shit and giving him that power buff, to do what they got to do, then that's how I kind of see it. But that's as far as I'll think.
Unless Goma does come in and he fucks everybody up.
Yeah. I mean, I could kind of see that too. Like, because at this point, Goma I don't think he feels that he has anybody on his side. So he might just kind of like destroy everybody or, whoever's in his way.
Yeah, because I actually forgot to even mention that too from episode 16 is that he saw Degasu going to get Dende, and he was like, damn, is no one on my side? Is everyone trying to turn on me? And the irony and the funny part of that is that, well, yeah, I mean, if you look at the lineage of the Demon King position, it's like it's like every single person that has had that throne has seemingly been turned against.
Yeah.
One way or another. I mean, like, even though, like, Goma was under Dabura at a time, or Dabura, like, I'm sure Goma would have done the same thing, or at least wanted to, in his mind. But yeah, so that's pretty much, like, all the thoughts I can conjure at this very moment in time, sitting on it after just watching episode 16. I did ask on the community tab on both this channel and my personal channel what you guys thought of this week's episode. So I'm just going to check and see if anyone answered while we're recording to get you guys some opinions here. Okay, so this comes from my account, right? So my personal channel, someone responded saying, I think it was better than the last episode. More plot progression. I'm looking forward to the last 3 episodes, and I think it'll deliver. And that's actually what we were saying too, or at least I was saying, because at this point I'm like, bro, 17, 18, 19, 20, at least the next 3, they're gonna have to just be like this. We're in the climax. Like, this is the end game right here. Like, they have to deliver no shot. Like, they have to, 100%. Again, as a little quick reminder, if you want to get your thoughts and discussions and theories out with us, definitely check out the Daima Post Show that is on Sunday. Usual start time is around 10:30 Eastern p.m. And we'll be talking about the preview of episode 17. We're talking about whatever you guys would like to talk about in regards to episode 16. And whatever else you guys want to talk about within that show. But at this time, it is that time for your Patreon shoutouts. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, guys. If you want to hear your name shouted out at the end of these, make sure you head on over to patreon.com/Full Power Podcast. Jayante Sheridan.
Jayante.
Anthony Parker.
Park that beat.
Lord Payne.
Penny Nut.
Worse than a demon.
Demon time.
Jarek Rivera. Mr. Back again once again.
Back again once again.
Odd Man Out.
Never kind of out.
Philly Handball.
Handball.
Soul Awakens.
Wake your ass up.
Super Saiyan Saw.
Super Saiyan. Super shit.
Travis Boyette. Vegeta Uchiha. And we got one more, so you know how it goes. Get up our boy with the fucking juice. Juice. Yes. Juice. Okay. Guys, gals, everybody of all ages, this has been your boys with the Full Power Podcast. Oh, I have some, well, I guess, yeah, this definitely counts for some good news. So I know that I was hyping up the Kami's Cookout for the longest time, right? And I've had no since updates about it, unfortunately, because I had a data corrupted issue thankfully, the footage has been recovered, so we can all applaud that. Yeah, it's been months, and so I now have it, so now I can keep editing it. So again, that's another Patreon exclusive. If you want to check that out, you have to be a Thriving Wazaru on the Patreon page. At any tier, you don't need to be a specific one because again, if you are tier 1 or above, you get access to the extra episodes and the content on there. So yes, Kami's Cookout, expect it soon because I got to get back to it, of course. And that's the part of the good news of it because there were certain things that I'm actually still hoping that they're able to salvage that wasn't there when they gave it back to me, which kind of sucks. But it's nothing to do with the podcast. So is there anything left for the people at home that you have for them?
Just stay fresh, stay clean, get yourself a nice fucking cologne, and that's it.
Okay. All right. And as far as I go, make sure you guys are staying up and keeping it pushing forward. And when it gets hard, it just means you like it or you want it that much more, or it should mean that much more, right? So keep those things in mind, as always, when you are going about your day-to-day. Let's hope that episode 17 is truly a banger. And also, last but not least, if you are trying to support us outside of Patreon, if you're trying to get your sleep up, your hydration up, and your energy up, we have a brand new affiliation with Poggers, which is a pretty new site that sells and does like your energy drink type of product, except they use no artificial colors, there's no caffeine, and there's no sugars that are added into their products. So they're actually a lot more healthier for you. So if you're trying to try any of these out, definitely check out the link in the description below to Poggers and use my code UCHIGANG to save yourself 10% off anything on that website. And it, of course, directly supports. Okay. So with all that said, hope you guys have a great rest of your week, great rest of your day, wherever you are in the world, wherever you're listening to this at whatever time. It's been your boy, Ooch, the Lethal Iceman, brother Ooch. Make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves. May the power protect. Keep it locked, glitter right here on this podcast. Stay safe, stay clean, and stay the hell inside. And we'll see y'all next time.